So the thing with Warcraft is Warcraft: The Beginning, which is the new film by Duncan Jones, which opens in the UK on Monday. It's been being screened this week, and originally there was an embargo on reviews until Monday, although the national press show of it isn't actually until Tuesday. And then come Wednesday, suddenly everybody started reviewing it. The reason appears to have been because the film's actually opened. The film right now, as far as we can tell, is playing in Egypt, France, Indonesia, Philippines, Azerbaijan, Germany, I mean loads and loads of places. And it has so far been reviewed in Total Film, Hollywood Reporter, Empire, Time Out, London Telegraph, Variety, Guardian. So the embargo was then apparently lifted. This puts everybody in a slightly awkward position. Firstly, because there is a problem with it. You know, embargoes are either on or they're not. And if they're not going to be enforceable, anyway, whatever, that's another argument. But I'm aware that we're talking about the film before it opens on Monday. So I want to be rather circumspect about what I say because I don't want to spoil the enjoyment for anybody who's kind of, you know, gearing
You won't,
up.
Mark.
No, but I'm just, okay, fine. So, the first thing it's necessary to say is that I have never played Warcraft. I know nothing of the game at all, and I have nothing invested in it. Unlike something like Assassin's Creed, which has been played a lot in my house, although not by me because I'm not a gamer. I don't know anything of the world other than it's this huge big thing, and it means an awful lot to people. So what I have to say about it is absolutely from a point of view of ignorance of the original material. What I do know is that Duncan Jones is a filmmaker who I admire very much and who, in the case of Moon, basically had a drama that consisted of, you know, two people. And in the case of Source Code, was taking a repetitive time frame and looking again and again at a single situation. And I thought, you know, doing all that rather brilliantly. Here, what he's doing is taking on an existing juggernaut, a behemoth, something that absolutely, by its very nature, relies on huge special effects and something which has an enormous amount of baggage. And essentially what you have therefore is going to be a filmmaker battling with a franchise. And, you know, how much of Duncan Jones are we going to get out of this? And I have to say that having seen it, the answer is more than I expected. And the plot, I mean, I won't attempt to do a plot synopsis other than that you need to know it's orcs, tyrannical warlord, driven by green mist, passing through a portal into the land of Azeroth to make battle and conquer. The rest of it, I'm not going to discuss the plot because if you want to know, it's all out there and you can find it. And to be honest with you, I'm not the right person to attempt to do a plot synopsis. But the recurrent phrase is from light comes darkness and from darkness light. And what I liked about the film was that it's a film with, you know, orcs and humans and battles and fantasy worlds. There's a one shot in which we kind of move around between battlefields, which seems to be sort of very video gamey. But what I liked was it seemed to give everybody and everyone and everything a pretty fair crack of the whip. In terms of the design, I mean, you've already seen all the pictures, so there's a touch of Mad Max Fury Road in the design. There's, you know, a creature with two skulls and intertwined backbones that he wears as a sort of, you know, cape and shoulder pads. There are orcs with massive hands and tiny heads, giant hammers, smash-tastic fight sequences. I mean, you know, great, big, powerful, sweeping CGI scenes that obviously make you start thinking about Lord of the Rings. There's mountain passes which will make you think of Lord of the Rings journeys. There are things which will evoke the Battle of Helm's Deep or the Battle of the Five Armies. And when compared to that, what one notices is the absence of the thing that those Lord of the Rings movies had, which was the sort of the hobbity charm. However, what you do have is a film which at times reminded me of Planet of the Apes and at times reminded me of John Carter. When I was watching it, I kept thinking, you know, it would be possible to watch this and think this is just John Carter, but there are so many defenders of John Carter. I was somebody who never got John Carter, but the people who really did get John Carter really stand by it. I found myself effectively on that side of the fence, that what I found myself actually being emotionally engaged in it, because what the story has is a recurrent theme of parents and children, of male and female being equally powerful, a film in which parenthood is parenthood and parent-child strifes are equally balanced across the opposing armies. A film in which on both sides of the divide we actually get something approaching proper character development. Here's a clip.
Oh, it's good to see trees again. On the snow. Even from a distance. Remember when we would track blood ox through the frostwind dunes? There was always meat. Always life. not think it's strange that we lost our home when Gul'dan came to power?
One orc cannot kill a world, Durotan.
Are you sure? Look around you. Does it not remind you of something? Wherever Gul'dan works his magic, the land dies. If our people are to make a home here, my friend, Gul'dan must be stopped.
We are not powerful enough to defeat Gul'dan.
No. No. But with the humans' help, we could be.
Mark?
Yes?
Did that sound a little bit like Fat Harry White? It sounds as though they got an actor's voice and they took it down a couple of notches in a various speed.
Well, now that you've said that, that's going to be stuck in my head forever. So, anyway, so my overall feeling about it was, as somebody who doesn't have anything invested in the game, and and as somebody who has a sort of aversion to blingy blong of the hithery throth and all the rest of it, was that I found myself more engaged with the characters than I thought I was going to be. I did find myself enjoying it more than I thought I was going to. I think it is a great big lumbering behemoth in which you do have you do see Duncan Jones struggling to put his thumbprints on it, but I did feel those thumbprints were there. I think there are jokes in it that actually made me laugh. I think there are some moments of spectacle that made me gasp, and I enjoyed myself watching it. And I'm quite surprised to see that of all the reviews that come out, there's been a lot of negativity, and I understand. Okay, fine. I mean, I really didn't like John Carter, and I can see that this could be read by somebody as John Carter. Personally, it looked more Duncan Jonesy than I expected it to, and I kind of went with it in a way that surprised no one more than me.